In 2019, you could walk into a shop and buy a Seiko SKX007, the most recommended dive watch on the internet, brand new for under $200. Then Seiko discontinued it. Nobody rang a bell. There was no farewell sale. It just quietly stopped shipping, and today a clean used one runs about $350, and the Japan-made versions cross $1,000. The men who kept saying, "I will get one eventually," are now paying double for somebody's worn example. Some of you watching are those men. I have been one of them twice, but here is the useful part. That exact pattern is repeating right now in plain sight across the Japanese catalogue. These are the 10 watches to buy before the 2027 prices land, and number 1 is mid-disappearance as we speak. First, the receipts, because I am asking you to spend money and you deserve evidence. The SKX is not a one-off. The Seiko SKX007, a plain black automatic people called the baby Grand Seiko, sold in the 500s after it was discontinued. 2 years later, it was pushing $1,000. Sellers today ask anywhere from the high 700s up past $1,800. The turtle diver, the SRP-77, gone from retail, and used ones now sit within reach of what a new one cost. The pattern is boring and reliable. A good Japanese watch leaves the catalogue, 2 years pass, and the price of regret is roughly double. And the reason 2027 specifically matters is what happened to prices this past year. So here is 60 seconds of receipts on that too. Tariffs on imported watches spent 2025 and 2026 bouncing between 10, 39, 15 and now 12.5% on Japan as of late July. The details changed constantly. One thing never changed. When tariffs eased, prices did not come back down. Seiko lifted American prices a few percent last September, and September has been their pattern month for years. Casio repriced nearly its whole American catalogue about 10% in the same month and has told investors tariffs are eating its profits. Grand Seiko retail is up close to a fifth since 2024 by one dealer's tracking. And the weak yen, the quiet force that kept Japanese watches cheap in America for 4 years, has started strengthening. Every tailwind is turning. So the 10. In rising order of urgency, number 10. The new Orient Bambino 38, the no-date one, around $350. This is the dress watch a decade of forum arguments crowned, finally offered at 38mm with a clean dial and nothing else. Here is why it makes the list. On the 1st of February this year, the Orient company itself was legally absorbed into Seiko Epson. Officially, the watches continue unchanged, and I believe that. But corporate house cleaning has a way of preceding catalogue pruning. That part is my speculation, and I will own it. When a lineup gets reviewed, the slow-selling classics go first, and history says you find out afterward. Number 9. The Orient Komatsu, listed at $580, and right now Orient's American site sells it for $375. A 200-meter automatic diver with sapphire glass from the same family everyone compares to watches at twice the money. When a company sells its best value at 35% off list, one of two things is coming. Either the list price becomes real, or the model makes way for something newer and dearer. Both end this price. Number 8. The Casio G-Shock GW-M561 Tel, the solar square that sets itself by radio every night. For years, this was the $100 miracle, the answer to what is the last watch I would need if I only had $100. That era is already dead. It jumped to about $140 in September's repricing. I'm including it because the miracle is still intact at $140, and because Casio has told its shareholders in writing that tariffs are squeezing them. The company that held the line on price for decades has started moving. Watches like this do not get cheaper again. Number 7. Its big brother, the GW5000U, $330 now, $300 before September. Same square face, but made in Japan with a screwed steel back, the version G-Shock people quietly consider the real one. The gap between the cheap square and this one is the cost of the words made in Japan, and everything about the last 2 years says those words are about to bill higher. Number 6. The Seiko Presage Cocktail Time, $425 on the street. A dress watch with a dial like the bottom of a whiskey glass, famous enough that it carries the whole line. Seiko has been walking prices upward across Presage for years, a few percent at a time. Always in the fall, nothing dramatic, just a staircase, and every autumn there is one more step. On a $400 watch, you barely notice. That is rather the point. Quick one. If this video saves you $50 on a single watch, subscribing is a free way to say thanks, and it tells me to keep doing the digging. We are at the halfway mark and the urgent half starts now. Number 5, the Turtle, the SRP 93, about $495. Here is the thing about Turtles. The generation before this one, the SRP 777, is already discontinued, and this replacement is nearly the same watch. Seiko turns this line over fast, and each generation exits without an announcement. The cushion case diver has been in the family since 1976. The individual references die every few years. You do not buy the Turtle when the new one launches. You buy it when the current one starts vanishing from dealer lists, and stock on this generation is already thinning. Number 4, the Seiko 5 Sports GMT, the SKX007, 420 to 450 street. When this launched in 2022, it was a small miracle, a true automatic GMT, the complication for tracking a second time zone, at a price where that simply did not exist. Reviewers spent a year saying some version of "I cannot believe this costs what it costs." That kind of gap in the market is a temporary error. Either competitors catch up and Seiko repositions upward, or the line gets refreshed at a higher number. Errors in your favor get corrected, and somebody will comment that this is just fear of missing out dressed up as advice. Maybe. Go and look at what an SKX costs today, then tell me which of us is the one being emotional about it. Number 3, the Alpinist, the SPB121. Seiko's official price is $725. Look around at actual retailers and you will find it listed in the mid-800s already. Read that again. The street price has climbed above the official price, which is backwards, and it is the single clearest price signal in this whole video. When shops can charge overlist and the watches still leave, the next official price is not a mystery. The green dial with the compass has been a collector favorite for 20 years. It will survive the increase. Your window at 700s will not. Number 2, the Grand Seiko Snowflake, the SBGA211, about $6,900, and I know that is a different conversation from a Turtle. But no watch on this list has moved harder. Grand Seiko retail has climbed high teens to 20% in 2 years by one dealer's tracking. And this specific watch, the textured white dial with the floating seconds hand, is the one everybody eventually wants. $6,900 was $5,000 something not long ago. At the current slope, the same watch brushes $8,000 before this channel is 2 years old. If the Snowflake is your someday watch, someday is a price, and it is rising. Number 1, the Seiko SPB143, and this is the live one, the SKX moment happening right now while nobody rings the bell. This is Seiko's modern reissue of its very first diver, the watch collectors call the 62 Mass Silhouette, and it is being replaced right now by a newer model with a different movement and different bezel. Retail on the SPB143 was $1,200. Because the replacement is already in shops, used and remaining stock examples are trading around $750, below retail. That is the exact shape of the SKX in 2019 and the Saab in 2018, the short, strange window where an outgoing classic costs less than it did in the catalogue, before the internet finishes noticing it is gone. 2 years from now, this paragraph will read like a tip-off. It is one. Now the honest part, and then I will let you go. Watches are a terrible investment. Almost all of them lose money, and anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you one. That is not what this list is. The point is simpler and a little more personal. Every collector I know carries one regret. The watch they circled for 2 years, priced at something reasonable, did not buy, and now it costs double, and buying it would feel like losing. Notice that last part because it is the real trap. It is not that you cannot afford it now. It is that paying the new price would mean admitting you were wrong at the old one, so you never buy it at all. The SKX guys know. The Saab guys know. This was never about profit. It is about the fact that the thing you already want is currently as cheap as it will ever be, and you get to choose which side of the pattern you are on. So tell me in the comments which one you have been circling and how long. If the answer is more than a year, you already know what this video was about. Subscribe before you go, because next week I am ranking 12 Seiko's worst to best, and the one everybody buys first is the one I would skip. See you then.